air and track temperatures are rising. Air temperature is now 12. The track temperature is now 17 Celsius.
Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you're like me, 2020 and into 2021 has been a crazy year with coronavirus and quarantine and not really being able to get out and do much. If you're like me, I was looking for something to do and I ran across some simulation racing driving games. I'm like, you know what, that looks like fun. So I wanted to try it out and see how it was, and I came across Assetto Corsa. Assetto Corsa is one of many games that are out there that is really popular right now. I found it on sale on Steam for the whole package for fairly inexpensive, so I figured for my first jump in, this is what I'm going to try. And the big question was, is it really worth it? Is this the best one to start with? And I don't know. But I'm giving you my perspective as somebody that really just got into this and is gutter tier racing quality, and what my thoughts on it are. So for being someone that has no experience really in sim racing, a lot of the stuff I can say is totally wrong. And you know, if you know otherwise, please speak up and tell me so. But I just want to give you my honest opinion on if Assetto Corsa is worth it here in 2021 for somebody that is looking to get into sim racing at all. So stick around and I'll give you my 100% honest opinion if Assetto Corsa is good for beginners here in 2021.
Laps, make them count. Okay mate, get ready. Let's go.
Okay, so let me start this by stating that I did a lot of video watching before I really got into it and did anything with it. And I looked into some of the others. I have a PlayStation 4, so I thought maybe Gran Turismo Sport, but I don't have a wheel for that, and that is not really a controller-friendly game. And the way I was watching people race, I didn't really know if that was good for somebody to just get out and practice and play that had never driven in a sim racing game before.
Clear left.
I have done plenty of other racing games, but they're more of like the Simcade style racing. I had stuff like the Forza Horizon 4, and I played some Wreckfest and just other games in general that you could easily do on a controller, and truthfully a lot of it is easier on a controller than it is on a steering wheel. But I wanted something that was like a true sim racing style. And what I was drawn to was either this, Assetto Corsa, or iRacing. And when I looked into iRacing, you know, it's $9.99 a month. It's a subscription base, and then you have to pay for cars and tracks and stuff like that. And for me, just getting into it, I really didn't want to get into a subscription-based service. So that's why I really did more time and spent looking with Assetto Corsa and watching videos and kind of seeing what it was about. Now, this game is like 7 years old now. It came out in 2013. But I have done what lots of the videos have said, and I've installed 4 of the main mods that everybody recommends, which is Content Manager, Saw, Custom Shader Patch, and Crew Chief. And now that I've played with them, I do think they are absolutely necessary. I'm not going to go into all that in this video because there are tons of videos out there that talk about these mods and how to install them and what they do. But let me just say, it really helps, and it has improved me a lot from trying it without them and then using them, and the quality and the looks of the game have improved tremendously.
Hold your line. Hold your line. Clear right.
You need to push if we're going to hold this position. Good move, mate.
Now, the thing I like about Assetto Corsa is that you can just get out there and practice on laps and tracks by yourself in different cars, and nothing's locked behind any paywalls or anything like that. Granted, I did buy the edition that had all of the
Good move, mate.
car packs and stuff unlocked, so I had pretty much access to everything. And once again, if you want even more tracks and more cars, this game is very mod friendly. And there are tons of mods out there.
We're seeing minor wear
just
all
go look
around.
for them, and some of them are good, some of them are bad. But I've seen some excellent mods that people have been using to really give you more options as when it comes to racing. Now for me, I use a Logitech G29 wheel, which is the Xbox wheel. So therefore, that's why I couldn't play Gran Turismo Sport or something like that. And first getting in it, the first thing I had to do is really play with the settings, get a feel for like how everything controls, and making sure everything's working the way it's supposed to. And the force feedback settings, which are good no matter what, but it's still just an entry-level wheel, so it only feels so realistic. But it's nice being able to feel every little bump in the road and running over stuff, and every little thing you can feel, which is nice. It gives you a real sense of driving.
P3.
And for me, one of the biggest things I learned is every car drives differently. You can be sitting there learning a track with one car,
Still there.
and you're doing okay at it,
Still there.
and then you hop to another car and it changes the play completely. You have to create new brake points, new acceleration points, how you handle corners, diving in and out, and all that in order to go around the track in a good way. I also like that it's fairly forgiving. Right now I have it set up so as I'm practicing there's no damage, so if I do go off and I hit a wall or something, I don't have to worry about restarting the whole thing. I can just hop back on the track and keep going and practicing my laps, and finding from time that repetition is key to just learning the track, learning when to brake, and how the car handles. And that's the way it's going to go with any sim racing game. One of the biggest things I had to learn is that I'm going to drive like trash, and I got to be okay with that. I can't get frustrated. I watch the videos and I see people just zipping around these tracks, and I have to give them huge respect because it is not easy. Even just going a straight line, it's like it just wants to veer just a little bit depending on how you're accelerating and everything. So it takes a lot of time to develop the skill. But the more and more you do it, it comes down to just doing it over and over. Practice, riding. And I admit, I have not been doing this very long, but I feel that it's very good for somebody that's just getting into it. And one of the things I really liked is that it has a career mode, so to say. And you start off in just very basic little small cars, and you have to work your way forward. You have time attacks, practice runs, racing against AI, and the ability for me is to be able to adjust the difficulty of the AI. I started off slower, like with the AI down to like 70%. And then I've slowly been doing the same race, but I've been bumping up the AI intelligence and how they drive to help me improve. Because if I just sat there and left them low and kept racing, I feel like I'd never get any better, because the AI would be the same, but I'd be getting better. I want it to stay a challenge, and I like that, being able to set your challenge levels and adjust as you go along. Do me a favor, if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button, the subscribe, and the little bell so you know when I'm post another video, and I'm going to be posting more and more here about Assetto Corsa. Another plus for me is being able to set up all the little widgets on your screen that you need. And the main one for me is basically having your gear selector and RPM gauge up on the screen at all times. Because depending on which car you're in, it doesn't always have it visible. And the main reason for that is it depends on your point of view when you're driving. You can be in the cockpit view to where you see the steering wheel and you can see the instrument gauge, But even then, depending on how it goes, if you're in a race, it can have the positions across the bottom and it gets covered up a little bit. So I like having the gear selector and the RPM gauge kind of up a little bit in the screen so I can see it, because sometimes when I get going, I have ADD and I'll totally forget which gear I'm in, and I'll be going into the wrong gear when I'm going into a corner or trying to come out of one or out of a sticky situation. And speaking of point of view, that's another thing I like. You can do what's most comfortable for you. You can sit right there in the driver's wheel so it feels like exactly like you're driving the car. You have your, depending on the field of view, you set up in your settings, which you have to play with to get just right. You can see out your side view mirror, your rear view mirror to kind of see what's going on around you. But at the same time, that's not always good, and that comes into having Crew Chief again, which is one of the mods I installed. Which, if you look it up, it does a lot of stuff, and it tells you car positions, like if there's somebody on your side and around you, so you know somebody's there without having to physically look. Now, this game does support VR, so you can sit there, and if you have a VR headset, you can look to your left and right as you're driving. But I have not personally tried that yet, so I do not know how good it is. Now, as of this time, I have not done any PvP races. I have all done practice laps and the first little bit of career mode. And I think I'm going to start streaming that so people can kind of see what it's like that have questions about it. Because most of the stuff online, especially for Assetto Corsa, is people doing drifting and stuff like that. But I'm wanting to do more into the racing instead of drifting. So I want to give a viewpoint of that and what it's like for somebody that's new, learning how to drive. And the moral of the story is, yes, this game is definitely worth it in 2021 for somebody that is looking to get into sim racing. I have found it very, very enjoyable, and the feel of it's been great, the looks of it been great, and I am really having a good time and look forward to seeing what I can do with this. So if you're on the fence about it, I would say go for it. It's a lot of fun. The only thing I would say is don't try to do it with a controller. It's just not going to be a good day, and you're probably going to get frustrated and just give up on it. If you want to do it, start out with just a Logitech or a Thrustmaster wheel, and it changes the whole experience and makes it more immersive and more enjoyable. Just be prepared. For me, it's been a rabbit hole. I have one screen monitor in front of me, and I've now gotten a basic sim racing stand for my driving wheel, and I'm using a rolly chair, which is not the best, but I got some coasters to put under it to keep it from rolling, because as you're hitting the gas and brake, the chair wants to move, which is not good. And that's basically it, guys. Assetto Corsa is a lot of fun, and I hope to see some of you out there racing and driving, and I will talk to you next time. And be sure to leave a comment. Let me know what you think and what you feel, and if you got any questions, comments, concerns, hey, even if you want to get in there and race a little bit with me, I'm down for it, and I look forward to talking to all of you. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitch so you can know when I'm streaming, and you can come and chat with me there too. Thanks a lot. Link is in the description.
Sector 2 time is okay. Cold tires all around.